Alright, guys. My little ferret is asleep. Alright, guys, third story for the day. We're gonna have to talk about this Epstein situation because the media is trying to use it to slam Donald Trump because they're hoping they can then turn that against him and it comes to the election. Let's face it, that's the only reason why they care. There was rumors of Epstein being a offender. I'm not going to say the words because demonetization for years. And this is something that we have covered for a very long time. And we're going to talk about this whole situation because there's a lot of BS when it comes to the situation. So let's talk about what the media is saying and then the truth of the situation. A video unearthed by Morning Joe shows Donald Trump partying in 1992 with Jeffrey Epstein, his pimp, Ghislaine Maxwell, and beloved of models during a private party at the future hunting ground Mar-a-Lago, which is entirely false because he was actually banned from Mar-a-Lago 15 years ago, which would have made it roughly 2000-ish. Right before, obviously this is like a good 10 years before this is like going back, this is going back almost 30 years. Just putting that out there now, like 25 to 30 years they've unearthed this video. But anyway, so just days after President Trump declared that he was never friends with Jeffrey Epstein, I don't want to say that word, footage has emerged of the two private party back in 1992. Oh my God, they were at a party together. Oh my God. Producers at Morning Joe unearthed the video which shows Epstein was a guest of Trump's Mar-a-Lago in November for the year and surrounded by a group of models and cheerleaders. Sounds like kind of a fun party to go to be honest, except for Epstein being there. One of Trump's final private parties before the financier-strapped real estate turned his residence into members-only club. So at the end of the day, this party, it was basically a who's who of anybody of Palm Beach. And guess what? Jeffrey Epstein was a who's who. Whether you like him or not, whether you like what he has done or not, he was an influential person in Palm Beach. There is no reason why he would not have been invited to this party or even just attended this party. Not even maybe invited, but just attended this party because he was influential. And nobody really back then knew the situation that we knew now. This is them trying to dig up dirt from 25 years ago, claiming, oh my God, Trump knew all along. Well, it's possible he did after learn that, because we'll get to that. But at the end of the day, oh my God, Trump's at a party with Epstein 25 years ago. Who would have thought that a billionaire had a party where another millionaire turned up? Oh my God, imagine my shock. Footage from 1992 shows a nearly single Trump at Mar-a-Lago with Epstein.
In their elite circle.
Well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan.
Yet, a tape in the NBC archives of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention.
Mind you, in 1992, Trump, I have not spoken to him for 15 years, which would literally make it around, 2019 now? That would literally make it around 2004. But don't worry, in 1992, almost, 12 years before he said he hasn't spoken to him, he spoke to him. Yeah? He said he hasn't spoken to him in 15 years. Cut it out, media, will you?
The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet three new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty.
Do we not want to know who these other two people are? Other two people have rocked up with Epstein Oh my God, let's not care about who they are. Let's worry about the guy who's hosting the party that introduced the new guest who turned up. These people literally turned up with Epstein. But we're not going to care about them. We're going to care about the party host greeting some new guests turning up. 25 years ago.
Deeply on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them.
Oh, that was a little bit telling, wasn't it? Can we go back to that? Watch this. Watch this again.
Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women...
Look at that Epstein little head nod that he does.
Another man as women are...
Yeah.
And another man as women...
Like that little... Yeah, like that little head shake.
Epstein and another man as women...
That to me is like a... You just blew me off. This is the link that they're trying to make is Trump. 25 years ago, he was at a party that he hosted, and Epstein turned up.
...are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man, and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his.
Looks like a big...
At the end of the day, just because you meet someone at a party for a first time or you've heard of someone turning up, doesn't mean you're a fan, MSNBC. Okay? Flying on someone's private plane 20-something times, that makes you a fan. And don't worry, we're going to get to that. But don't worry. Now, obviously, Trump was coming out saying he's not a fan of Epstein. And we'll roll that for you now. So we're going to talk about this whole shit, guys. Don't worry. We're going to break it down for you.
Well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. I mean, people in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan. I was not, a long time ago. I'd say maybe 15 years. I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his. So I feel very badly, actually, for Secretary Acosta, because I've known him as being somebody that works so hard and has done such a good job. I feel very badly about that whole situation. But we're going to be looking at that and looking at it very closely. We're also going to be...
Right, and then he goes on talking about a Boeing deal.
Believe that plea
Here is Conway's response to Epstein.
agreement that Acosta struck was indeed unconscionable, and does he enjoy the support of the president?
Well, first, let me just deal with Nancy Pelosi and her tweet, which I haven't seen, but I'm not surprised. It's classic her and her Democratic Party to not focus on the perpetrator at hand and instead to focus on a member of the Trump administration. They're so obsessed with this president that they immediately go to Alex Acosta rather than Jeffrey Epstein. As far as I can see, Jeffrey Epstein is the one who allegedly, but it sure looks like strong evidence to me, is touching, if not raping, young girls. We'll see what the evidence provides. But these charges, as Jeffrey Berman said in New York yesterday, are unconscionable. They shock the conscience. They do for me. You don't have to have a teenage daughter to feel that pigs who touch young girls as such, touching children as that, should rot in hell. But it sure helps to have a teenage daughter and feel that way.
Anyway, and then obviously Trump administration, Trump called Epstein Trump called Epstein a terrific guy who enjoys young women before denying relationship with him. So that's not that video. My understanding.
Anybody else?
Epstein is a terrific guy.
Well, I knew him like everybody in...
Alright, it's not what he said actually, but anyway. I've known Jeffrey for 15 years. Terrific guy, Trump told the New York Magazine after a story headline, Jeffrey Epstein, International Money Man of Mystery. Sounds like to me it's just PR. It's just, yeah, he's a terrific guy. Secretly, I think he's a dick. But, hey, they want to do a story on him. He's rich. I might need him later. He's a terrific guy. I threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, but he's a terrific guy for the story, sort of thing, right? I'm not real worried about that. I threw him out. Donald Trump says he banned Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago and hasn't spoken to him in 15 years. I had no idea he was abusing girls. This I don't necessarily agree with. I think Trump knew very, very well. And this is why I think Trump had a falling out with him. But regardless, that would be my guess. President Trump said he had no idea the billionaire and one-time friend, Jeffrey Epstein, they weren't friends, was abusing young women. He confirmed to the Daily Mail that he was leaving the White House and that he had a falling out with Epstein and banned him from his executive Palm Beach club more than a decade ago. He's obviously, Trump said he's going to look into Acosta's things. We've already played that part. Democrats call for Alex Acosta to resign from Trump White House over Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Negotiate.
But the funny thing was, back in the day, nobody asked Clinton to resign. But we'll get to that, don't worry. We're getting to that point. We're getting to the double
At his 2017
already.
confirmation hearing, only one senator asked Alexander Acosta questions about his plea deal with Jeffrey Epstein.
What we presented at the very
Look, to be honest, as for this plea deal, do I think that Acosta went leniently, would be the word I would suppose? Yes, I do. I think Acosta was under pressure from powers that be to go easy on Epstein. And I'll tell you now, I would be very, very surprised if he doesn't go easy, or if they don't go easy on him again. We've already seen that Epstein has a Chelsea Clinton, a Clinton friend, Clinton daughter, Obama daughter. Someone from the Democratic side is leading the prosecution, and there's a whole bunch of Democrat links to Epstein. Also, apparently the prosecutor or something. I'll have to look into it. I remember reading something about this a couple of days ago. But yeah, there are links to Jeffrey Epstein, this case, and the Democrats. And to be honest, I think the powers that be are trying to set it up so that he takes a fall, but it's only a stumble. He'll probably get rehab for a couple of weeks, again, like what Weinstein got. And that's what I think they're trying to set it up for. So it's very, very interesting that with all these Democratic links that he has right now, nobody is seemingly focusing on that. Everybody's worried about what happened 25 years ago. Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago years ago. Here's why. I've known Jeffrey, a terrific guy, he said, when he was in the real estate developer and not presidential. He's a lot of fun to be with, even that said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. Many of them are on the younger side. So what I think this is, when he's saying he's a terrific guy, he's a lot of fun to be with, he's talking about his love of women, and obviously he's a party, he goes out, he sleeps with a lot of women, his bachelor lifestyle, which Trump obviously enjoyed. He was literally at a party with cheerleaders. I am so jealous, but anyway. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, yeah, and then he's probably realised later, well, hang on, some of these women tend to be a little bit younger than we allow. And that's why I reckon he threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, was simply because of the fact that he got wind of Jeffrey Epstein liking younger women. Maybe someone turned around after the party and turned around, or after a while, and said to Trump, hey, you might want to stay away from Epstein. He tends to like the women a little bit too young. Or maybe it was something when he was on the Lolita Express. Yes, Trump was on the Lolita Express only once, but he was on there. And maybe he got a taste of what Epstein likes then, and hit the emergency parachute and jumped out and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. We don't know. We don't know what the situation is, and we probably will never know, because at the end of the day, defamation is a real thing. But what we do know is Bill Clinton jumped aboard the disgraced sex offenders Jeffrey Epstein Lolita Express 26 times in 3 years. It's weird how all of a sudden Trump is the friend of Jeffrey Epstein, but everybody is avoiding the Bill Clinton links. 26 times he rode on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane, the Lolita Express. It has a name for that for a reason. Bill Clinton spent enough time aboard disgraced Wall Street mogul Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express airplane that he should be legitimate for frequent flyer miles, according to a shocking new report that reveals how often a former US president rode along with the convicted sex offender. Let's not worry about the 26 times that Bill Clinton rode on the Lolita Express. Let's talk about the time that Trump was seen at a party 25-something years ago with him. Like, really? You're going to focus on that? This is why we call you fake news. But, yeah. Look, I reckon Epstein's a piece of shit. I really, really do. But at the end of the day, I'm not surprised he's been doing this. We've been screaming about this for years. Serves him right for getting done, to be honest. And I hope they castrate the prick. But at the end of the day, him and Trump, that's a stretch. It really, really is. If you want to go talking about friends, let's talk about Bill Clinton riding on the plane 26 times. Let's talk about how many frequent flyer miles Bill Clinton ranked up, but nobody called for Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to get kicked out of the White House. Oh, because back then our politics were aligned. And now all of a sudden, well, you know, we're anti-Trumpers, so we're going to use everything we can to get rid of him. Which is what it's all about. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this whole Jeffrey Epstein situation? What are your thoughts on Trump? Do you think he knew about Epstein? Do you think he knew about him but couldn't say anything? Or do you think he was a little bit more involved and he likes to let on? Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Apart from that, guys, obviously this video is not monetized generally, so please feel free to share it, because obviously we don't get shared. And at the end of the day, guys, apart from that, this will be the last video for the day. We will be back tomorrow with more videos. We're just going to do the video uploads for now. The live show, we're going to restructure it maybe when I get the internet. We're sorting that whole situation out. And I'm going to do a video on NBN too. I've been working on it and it's taking me a little longer than I thought. But apart from that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Enjoy. And cheerio.